Today I had the most difficult class I think I've had since I got here. It was awful. And in fact I actually had it twice today as well. The class I'm talking about is the alphabet. Specifically the alphabet for first grade junior high. It was really, really awful. And the class itself actually went okay, but I hated it. I hated it with a passion. And there's one thing. It's because of one thing. Americanisms. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, I don't hate Americans or Americanisms, but I hate teachers who think they know everything because they know American English. That's what I hate. And I also hate the fact that he can't pronounce his letters correctly. For example, we started off at A. So I say A, he says A. It's all good. Then he decides to start the phonetic alphabet, which just messes things up in my mind. But maybe that's because I didn't learn it when I was little and I still managed to speak okay. So yeah, anyway, phonetic alphabet, which is A, B, K, D. So, A, A. So he had all the kids go A, A. Well, actually, he went on about the difference between American English and British English. He started saying, he said to me, you know, say A. So I said A. A, apple. Okay? And he says, different, isn't it? Then he said, this is the way you should do it. And he said, your cheeks must, your mouth must be open. Apple. Americans don't speak like that. What's he all about? That drove me nuts. And the thing is, you can't bring it up in class, right? So see, by the time you get to the end of the class, even if I do bring it up, one class is already damaged with his incorrect pronunciations. So I'm just like, what's the point? And he's actually, the teacher that I'm talking about, he's a little bit sensitive to criticisms. And I must admit that's because he gives me a lot of opportunity to criticise him. Like, he speaks better Spanish than he does English. Although I heard him speak Spanish the first time the other day, and a bit of an accent, you know, it was a bit south, if you know what I mean. So I'm just like, what are you all about? He phoned me the other night at 8:30, right? 8:30, and I'm like, maybe he pressed the wrong button, answer the phone, he's like, I have a question. I'm like, can't it wait? It was like, no, I must give the exam back tomorrow, but this student has written an answer, and I don't know. I think it is wrong, but I'm not sure. So basically, the question was, it was actually like a little comic box, so you'd a guy here, a guy here. One guy was carrying a box, and the other guy had a speech bubble, and the student had to write something in the speech bubble. The answer he was looking for was, shall I help you? The student had wrote, can I help you? I said the student was correct. He was like, but I don't understand. And then today at school he brings it up again. He shows me the actual picture and he says, are you sure can I help you is okay? He says, what about may I help you? And I was like, yeah, that's alright too. And he was like, but I don't understand. And I was like, well, it's tricky. I mean, technically, the three separate, you know, can, may and shall are all three separate words with three separate definitions. So it is a different question every time you ask. But natural English speakers use them interchangeably. Can is the most common, like most folk will say, can I help you? May is more polite, and shall is just not really used that much, or not where I'm from anyway. I've never heard anybody say, shall I help you? Unless they're taking the rip. So I'm just like, oh, this is so difficult. I mean, he's obviously learned by the book, but the book's wrong and out of date and American. So every time I say something or correct him, he's like, I don't think so. Case in point, all of our first graders get English names. And we hand out the English names to each student and say the name so that they know what it sounds like. And we handed out the names. I was doing the girls, he did the boys. So hello Anne, nice to meet you. Hello Charlotte, nice to meet you, etc. He picked the names I might add. Some of them are a bit out of date. Yeah. So anyway, there was one point in the class where they had to write their names, and then they had to write katakana underneath it. And the katakana is basically just like sounding it out. So all the kids were putting their hands up saying, "Can you say it? You know, can you say it for me, like slowly, so I can like write it down?" So like Charlotte, I'd go Charlotte, and they'd be like Charlotte, and I'd be close enough. Then this one kid, it was a boy. He was like, "Come here, say my name." So I was like, right, Louis. Now the spelling of the name, I should add, was Louis. I look at that and I see Louis. However, the teacher came over and he went, "It is not Louis, it is Lewis." And I was like, no it's not. And I decided I'd fight for this one because we play bingo a lot and the kids' names are written on little bits of paper, and I have to not pull them out of a hat, but like I have to pick them at random, and I say the name. So I would be forever calling this boy Louis and nobody would know who it was. Like, because I look at that and I see Louis, right? There's no way I see a Lewis out of it. So I'm just like, I'd be forever saying Louis. People would be getting confused. They'd look at me as if I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. So I'm not having this. And plus, when the next ALT comes, they'll see Louis. And, you know, the kid's going to be blighted for it for the next 3 years of his life. You know, let's do it correctly. So I was like, it's Louis. So we stood. And he was like, no, Americans say Lewis. And I was like, no they don't, they say Louis. If I show that to an American, he'll say Louis. Just let it be, just let it be. So, so we let it be. The kid just stuck with Louis. The next day, he came up to me with a dictionary and said, "Look, it says Lewis," but it was written in there's a strange sort of language, and it's phonetic, and the Japanese seem to love it. I can't read it because it's like triangles and upside down U's and stuff like that. It's to do with the sound of the way your lips and tongue moves and stuff like that. I've got no clue. All I knew was he pointed the dictionary and said it says Lewis, and I was like, well, it might say that in that Japanese dictionary, but I'm telling you it's Louis, right? Lewis is spelled with a W. Leave it. So, you know, it's these little things, they start piling up and they start irritating you, and you get to that point where you think, I'm going to snap. I'm not, but you know, you get to that point where you're like, so you just have to phone somebody and bitch at them or something. Me, I make a video for YouTube. What can you do?